All right, guys. So let's talk mindset. Let's talk fun. Let's talk how to prepare for the new year. These are notes that I took back in 2005, maybe 2006. And here's some bullet points for focus. The first is have a cleanup work area. Clean up your work area. Get it ready. Don't have clutter. Don't have moving leads or papers around your desk. Purge the people who you're not going to call. Like if there's people you're like, oh, well, I'll call them tomorrow or I'll call them next week. Let's just get them out of your pipeline. Remember, the better lead follow-up, the better you're going to be, especially in the first 14 days of the year. The better in lead follow-up you are, it's kind of like saying what you do today is really how you're going to show up next week. Whether that's in fitness, whether that's in mindset, whether that's in your business, because you don't all of a sudden switch a arbitrary on January 1st, I'm a different man or woman. It's start today, start with lead follow-up, and start setting appointments for next week. Everyone who said next year is Saturday. Let's go. Write down your goals. Write down your goals. And your goals really should be in a few areas. So the first area should be your friends and family. Another area is in your work. Another is in your health and fitness. Another is in lifestyle and adventure. Another is in your financing and investment. And last, or two more, spiritual and contribution, and personal growth and intellectual. Does anyone want to read those back to me?
Friends and family, work, health and fitness, lifestyle and adventure, finances and investment, spiritual and contribution, personal growth and intellectual.
Does anyone have any questions on clarity on any of those?
Did you put them in a specific order?
No.
Okay.
Think of them, Tony, as a garden. It's your garden. And if you don't water your garden, it will die. If you don't attend to your garden, it will be overrun with weeds. And it doesn't mean that you have to water your garden every day, but understand that if you focus a ton on one place, another place may not get the attention it needs. And so no, there's not one that's more important than the other. I will tell you the one mistake many salespeople make. It's that they focus on personal growth and business and drop health and family. So no, there's no one order. They're all gardens and they all should be watered. Some more than others, yet understand that everything in life is about balance and counterbalance. Everything in life is about balance and counterbalance. And that we're always going through life going boom, 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 boom. And that's okay. Yet what's not okay is not writing down your goals. What's not okay is not sharing them. From your goals, we create a business plan. From your goals, we create a business plan and take the next couple days. Tony, you already did it. Tivy, you're headed out. I'm heading to Orlando tomorrow to go to Disney. Start your year mentally, physically, and emotionally ready. And take note that the more reading, the more exercise, the more affirmations. The definition of an affirmation is the words that follow I am, follow you. The words that follow I am, follow you. And stretch. Take some time every day and stretch. I know you young bucks on the call, you're like, what is that all about? I promise when you get to...
I stretch more than anybody. This actually, the first day, there was this new guy at work, that this place that I worked at. He saw me stretching and he thought it was a competition. He was like, I can kick the ceiling. And he tore his hamstring.
Stretch. Your upper
Stretch.
body, your lower body. Stretch. Stay nimble. All right. Anything you want to add to that, Ralph?
I need to stretch.
Yeah, me too.
Sorry, I got a mouthful.
It's all right.
What I wanted to add was this. Understand that I'm glad you brought this up with everything, because we're all different areas in your life, because when you're striving for greatness in one area, there's going to be a yin and yang. There's going to be a natural pull from another area. And it doesn't mean that you're going to have complete balance, even though complete balance is what we strive for. Very rarely you're going to have it, and that's okay. The question is going to be, how much time and effort and energy are you giving to those areas that are lacking that, versus just completely ignoring them and then just letting them go by the wayside. So what I want to say is it's okay if we're not balanced. In fact, it's expected that we're not balanced, but we have the choice to spend time to try to make the most out of the areas that aren't getting the attention, because we're striving for greatness in the one area that is getting all the attention.
Awesome. Thank you, Ralph. Here's a mindset tool. Visualize seeing yourself already experiencing it. Accept it as already happening. See yourself as already experiencing it. Accept it as already happening. Just focus on the process. Action today solves tomorrow's worries. Here is a meditation with affirmations and an incantation. So the meditation, I'm so happy and grateful now that I am excited to begin prospecting and enjoy it. I am so happy and grateful now that I'm moving towards blank in reserves. I am so happy and grateful now that I can pay off my car. I am so happy and grateful now when I visit my parents in Aventura. 2008. What? Here we are 12 years later. And an incantation is something Tony Robbins teaches. And it is about having a phrase, having a piece. Who is that? Just mute yourself. Thank you. So an incantation is about bringing the universe into your vibration. So I believe that I will have this money in my possession. My belief is so strong that I now can see the money before my eyes. I am holding it in my hands. I know it exists and it is awaiting transfer to me in return for my services rendered with full honesty and possible skill and diligence. A plan exists which will transfer the sum of $100,000 to me by December 31st, 2008, and my receptive mind will see that plan and cause me to follow it. That is called an incantation. If you watch Tony Robbins, he does this and he hits his chest and screams and does a bunch of things because it's about creating a vibration in the universe. Affirmations and incantations are two of the most powerful mindset hacks that you can implement in 2021. Anything you want to add there, Ralph?
I like the way you said hacks, because what we're doing is we're plugging this in and forcing ourselves to get there faster by assuming it's already there and convincing ourselves. Think of it like a boxer going into a match. They've already convinced themselves that either they won the fight or they lost the fight. It's already been decided before they actually fight. Same thing with us. So we've got to get ourselves in that state. And that's why this morning when I posted, success is 80% psychological, real estate's 80% psychological, 20% plan. Because even though the plan works, if you believe in your plan more than the next person, you're going to get there.
Yeah.
While the other person has the same one. So this is a great reminder, hack. We're reminding ourselves. We're convincing ourselves. We're essentially going to think that we've already accomplished this, not just like once a quarter when your business plan.
Right on. So not everything's going to be peachy, not everything's going to be easy, and yet here are 10 hacks on how to get back to good feelings. Number one, start to become aware of what your body starts to do when you have negative thoughts and feelings. Do you clench your teeth? Do you begin to daydream and do you become unfocused? Start to analyze what exactly happens when you are thinking negative so you can get ahead of that moment. When you start to have that moment, say to yourself, I am choosing this feeling. Now I will choose something else. Because here's something I learned a long time ago. You can never control your first thought, ever. And yet you have everything in your power to control thought number two. And that's what number two is saying. Number three, it doesn't matter what was bothering me before. You have the ability to shift your mind back to a list of what you love. So create a list of things that you love. What's in your life, your job, your family, your experiences, your career. Ask yourself, is there anything in your life that you're happy about right now? And that's kind of the exercise that we talked about this morning with the Wiffle, or this morning, right before we started. Think about your hobbies. For me, it's food. Like when I say, hey, I'm going to Vegas, I am going to grub because that's my hobby. Think about a song. Start singing it. Or hum it. These are ways to get back to good feelings. Well, now that you start to feel good, turn the direction. This is one of the most powerful lines I've learned in the last 18 months. What is good about this? So I'll give you an example. A buddy in my pod was driving from Kentucky to Colorado, and somewhere along the way, his car engine blew up. And he was going to Utah. I'm sorry. He was going from Kentucky to Utah, and in Colorado, his car blew up. Like his engine just like, and clearly all of his plans changed. Clearly he now had to invest money in his car. And we were on Marco Polo, and he was walking us through the scenario, and he said, well, I had to ask myself, I'm stuck on the side of the road. What's good about this? And his answer was, what's good about this is I've been wanting to come to Colorado, and now I get to spend a couple days here in Colorado, eating the food, seeing people, talking to people that I would have never stopped for if I didn't be forced to stop in Colorado. So this is something I have been working on for 18 months. What is good about this? Because I promise you can find the underlining response of what's good about anything that's going on in your life, especially the worst and worst and worst things. Next, if there's still resistance, ask yourself, well, if I made up something good about this, what would make me laugh? If I made up something, what would make me feel good? Because here's a mindset shift, guys. You are the creator of your life experience, no one else. You get to decide if you feel good or if you feel bad, not anyone or anything else. So ask yourself, why are you disempowering yourself? If your whole vision and goal of life is created by yourself, just understand that you can snap your finger and get back. If someone else was looking at the situation, what could be valuable from their conscious perspective? So remember, a conscious perspective, there is nothing to protect yourself against. So be cautious in inventing thoughts that don't serve you. And last, always check to see how your body feels. Your higher self will let you know when you've achieved harmony by giving you a sign of good feelings. So I went really deep on this one. Went really deep with you guys on this one, and yet there are many times over the next couple of weeks where you can pull this out and go, okay, well, what's good about this? Or, hey, I've noticed that I bite my nails. Or, hey, I noticed that I clench my teeth. Notice these bodily actions so you can get ahead of negative thoughts and get back to good feelings.
I love the relationship between the feelings, you know what I mean, and your body, right? Because like how you feel about things and you know whether you're in a good mood and how does your body feel, because that could work two ways. First off, you can check yourself and say, okay, I'm not feeling real good, so maybe what I'm doing is wrong. Or you can say, you know what, I'm gonna force my body to feel good. That way, what I do, I get the best result out of. And to me, that applies to making sure that I'm eating right, that I'm working out, you know, that I'm maybe limiting my consumption of my vices during the week or when I have to work, you know what I mean? And that just, it just kind of prepares me. Like if I'm going to battle or if I'm going to go train for an Olympic style performance, like if you're not thinking that way, if that makes you chuckle and you're like, that doesn't apply to us, then you're not really playing this game to that, you know, to a level of just abundance. But if you do play the game at that level and you do take that approach and that amount of intensity towards the correlation between how you feel and your outcomes and what you're doing to your body, then I think that the rest, will play itself out.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right. So now let's dive into.
I'm going to make sure I'm going to eat right and work out and do all those things
Mhm.
starting yesterday. Not the New Year's, yesterday. What's next?
Yeah. Continuing the mindset. So we become what we think about most of the time. That was one of the first things I learned in real estate when I got into real estate, is that we become what we think about. So if we're thinking about our plan, then we're setting ourselves up for positive results. If we're thinking about variables, then we're worrying and taking steps backwards. What the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. See, the issue of thinking big is because we may not take the time to visualize what that will accomplish. When we take the visualizations and the incantations, our mind will figure things out while we sleep. I fought that one for a long time. And it's crazy what we do when we sleep, what our body does and sets up for ourselves. We must develop an unwavering desire to achieve our goals despite the ups and downs, because we all have them, the ups and the downs, the good and the bad. Remove the drama now. Why? Because it costs you time and money, and time is money. We must have a thorough understanding of both personal and business accountability. Understand what the word coachable means and have a desire to strive to be coachable. And we become like the people we associate ourselves with. So ask yourself, are they contributing to your maturity and growth as a business person? Or are they taking away your power to succeed?
Tonight I'm taking you out on a date. Yes.
Thinking big
No.
is a learned experience. Thinking big is a learned process. Thinking big is a learned process. No different than riding a bike. And it starts with planning. It starts with goal setting. It starts with the gardens that we discussed and putting out big goals. Starting to think big. Next month, Bold is coming back. In this new Bold, which is really the old Bold that they're bringing back just digitally, there is an exercise called the financial thermostat. And it's one of the hardest exercises that we can put together as a human. And the financial thermostat goes like this. You have $1,000 today, spend it. Go on Google and spend it. Tomorrow, you got $2,000. The next day, you got 4,000. Then 8, then 16, then 32, then 64, then 128, then 256, then 1.2. And that's what a dream book is truly all about. If you don't know how to spend your money, then you will never earn it. And that doesn't mean have material things and think materially. It's simply an exercise that what does a $275,000 watch look like? I have no idea. What does a McLaren actually cost? I have no idea. How about one of those Rolls Royces that have a drop top and blacked out and murdered? And I don't know what any of those cost. But yet, what does a trip to Fiji cost? What does an engagement ring cost? That's what a dream book is all about, is start to analyze what these processes cost, which is a dream book. Fantasize about this. Create a wish list, places you want to go, things you want to do, material things you want to have. And as it says here, it sounds materialistic, and yet if you're not thinking about it, then you're just going through the motions. This isn't about egotistical material things. It's about just opening up your mind to possibility thinking. So it's critical that in 2021, we expand our mind, that we talk about the books we're reading, listen to motivational, and attend events together. Bold is coming in 3 weeks. It's going to be digital. There's going to be teams. There's going to be accountability. It's back. Family reunion is 2 weeks after that. It's more like 3 weeks after that. These are events that we can work together on assuring that we all have the same mindset. We talked about affirmations, the words that follow I am, follow you. So remember, affirmations work both positively and negatively. To create a stronger mindset, spend less time comparing yourself to others. There's a bold law. Don't compare your insides to other people's outsides. Ralph says this: attitude, approach, and expectations. Check up from the neck up. How are you showing up today? And what did you say you were going to do, and what did you do? Spend a few minutes every day in meditation. That's something I started this year. Meditation is huge. It is a life hack. It truly is. Some people could say it's prayer. Others can say it's spirituality. And at the end of the day, it's all good. We whiffle. Whiffling is experiences and generating excitement. Excitement generates new experiences. Give gratitude. Being critical of yourself does not strengthen your mindset. It actually weakens your position. Journal, journal, journal. I journaled out of paper. Do. You can build personal power by getting your thinking on track, leveraging your gardens, and working together as a team, sharing our wins, sharing our opportunities, and always communicating with each other. And that is what I feel like expressing. How we do today?
I feel like we need to do this like once a month.
I'm cool.
You know, because and yeah, we can all go through the motions and this, that, or the other. But at the end of the day, like we can literally spend, you know, weeks, days, years talking about this stuff, and it always changes because our experience changes. Where we are in our process changes, in our goal in life and everything. And it kind of brings you back to the basics. It's always going to be relevant, yet it's always going to be changing. So the question is, how are we planning?